PowerGamer.se. Vi är tillbaka i Stockholm där vi har träffat massa prestigefyllda japanska utvecklare för att prata deras nya stora titlar. And right now I'm here with Ryo-san and we are about to talk about Saint Seiya Brave Soldiers, a brand new anime-inspired game coming to us here in Sweden. So this is a franchise that is not very well known to I guess most people here in Sweden and I guess Europe as a whole. So could you just start about just letting our viewers know really what Saint Seiya is about?
So the Saint Seiya manga has started in Japan about 20 years ago, so it has a pretty long history, at least in Japan. And the story is about these characters wearing armors, various kind of armors, which is called cloth. So that has a unique correspondence between zodiac and the cloth. So those characters are called as saint. So those saints are fighting against other evil saints. So basically the story is about, you know, justice versus evil, who are wearing clothes as a saint.
Yeah. So for those new to the franchise, I can tell that this is a 3D fighting game, very dynamic, very cinematic. You have these huge battles and these very strong individuals fighting them. So when it comes to the fighting in this game, would you say that it's a good representation of what the Saint Seiya franchise is like?
So it started in Shonen Jump in Japan, and the manga has provided very dynamic fighting in the original manga story. So that is why we wanted to express that dynamic feelings in the video game as well. And in the story, it's basically 1 versus 1 fighting. That is one of the reasons why we wanted to focus 1 versus 1 fighting style in the.
And like many other anime-inspired fighting games right now, you have these a huge array of different game mechanics and special abilities amongst the characters. So could you just talk a little bit about that? What kind of special moves and stuff like that is involved in this game?
So obviously those more than 50 characters in the game has different personal characteristics, and of course different weapons. So some characters has very evil, twisted personality, so those characters will be stamping on the opponents like this, and some other characters will be using a chain as a weapon, so some characters will be just swinging chains during the battle. So those unique movements are very characterized in the video game, depending on the personal characteristics and how they looks in the original manga contents.
Yeah. And will you have any game mode that lets us, those of us who are new to the Saint Seiya franchise, will we be able to dive into the story and get familiar with all of these characters in the game?
So first of all, this game covers main 3 big chapters. So the volume inside is pretty big, robust. But even if you don't know the contents of Saint Seiya, there is a kind of story mode called Saint Chronicle mode that would allow players to understand what kind of stories are taking place in each chapters. So by the time you finish the story mode, basically you will be able to understand what's going on in Saint Seiya contents as a whole.
PowerGamer.se här i Stockholm där vi har träffat en rad stora japanska utvecklare för att prata lite om deras senaste verk. Jag sitter här med Hashimoto-san och vi ska prata om Dragonball Z, The Battle of Z. So with this game you're continuing to evolve on the Dragon Ball franchise as a whole. We've seen a lot of games. We've had the manga series, we have the anime, and now you're bringing us this whole new game. So what can long-time fans of the Dragon Ball franchise expect from this?
Okay, so major differences between any previous DVD games and what DVD fans can expect from this game. It's going to be the more Dragon Ball-like team battle they can enjoy it. So first things is DVD games any previous DVD games was a 1-on-1 battle. But now this game is you can match up other people. You can form a team with 4. And you can fight against multiple opponents in the same field, same time. So that's going to give it, some like a more dynamic, exciting DBZ battle in the game. So players can find any uniqueness from this game.
Yeah. So I've seen the trailer with a lot of the most beloved Dragon Ball characters fighting together, both heroes and villains. Will you be able to combine a team of heroes and villains fighting together against other enemies?
Yes, it is possible. And after you progress that story, game as part, then you'll be able to select characters from the lines. So you can make a dream team like a Goku, Frieza, Cell, and Boo, and one team fight against others. That's gonna be really fabulous, but it's so scary.
That's great. I love the sound of that. And we also have this huge story, this huge ongoing story, and it's been a long time since the original Dragon Ball series ended, but we still like to have this story retold, especially in video games. Will you be able to play through the story as a whole in the game, or will there just be this kind of scenarios or glimpses of the Dragon Ball story?
So in this game, we like to implement not whole entire storyline here, but we like provide some situations from take it out from the storylines.
Yeah.
So given more players to play this game to feel like a DBZ world in there through playing the game. So but of course this game is going to include we take out the story from the Science Saga to the Buu Saga because this is the series, and also several story from the movie saga, for example, Hyodagon, School or Broly. So we take out some elements, important elements from the story, and we just integrate into each mission. So even though it's not whole story is really showing in the game, but even the player played each missions, they can feel oh now I'm playing the Science Saga. I know this part of scenes. So that's enough scenes can be players can feel by playing this game.
Yeah. So recently the Dragon Ball video game franchise evolved into the Tenkaichi game and the Burst and Sparks and those games. But before that we had the Dragon Ball Budokai series, and I know for a fact, at least here in the Western world, a lot of parts of Europe and North America, we really loved the Budokai games. And especially Dragon Ball Budokai 3 was a great success and returned recently in the HD remake. What's your take on this 2D fighting style of Dragon Ball versus the 3D fighting style?
So of course, Budokai Z, Budokai 3 series, they give it a great expression about how the GBT game, DBT, anime manga type production game, and then from the 2D to 3D, what's changing? Because of DBT, to more get emphasized on such DBZ actions to be produced in the game. So if by using the 3D, stages of characters and then wide depth.
Yeah.
So such explosions or key blasts from the hours, blasting the opponents away, slamming the locks and etc. Flying over the stage too. Those can be visualized more vividly, and then when players play the game, they can feel like I'm being Super Saiyan, I'm flying the stage, I'm just like a DBZ. So that's more way to how the not graphical but emotional expressions, and also how to makes the player to feel into the game as DBZ, which is in 3D. That's why I think game to move from 2D to 3D, and now we use in 3D stages and characters to give more strong expression as a DBZ.
Yeah. So back to the game at hand, Dragon Ball Battle Z. We have this. The new main thing is these big team fighting instead of just the one-on-one battles. So when we look at the online part of the game, how will that work with the teams fighting against each other? Will you be able to set up your team with your friends and battle against other opponents out there? How will it work?
So in the online, you can create either quick or custom match. So in the quick match, players who likes to just play the online and randomly to such other online worldwide players, and they can set up a team of 4 and they can challenge to the same mission, or they can randomly match up teams versus same type of people who's match up randomly form a team, and they can have battles between each others. And if you use a custom match, it is possible to tell your friends, you can please search our room, and then it's possible to invite your friend into your room and form a team, your friend's team, and maybe it's possible to burst against your other friend's team. So that's kind of diversity, using wisely those two different custom matchings quick match and custom match to enjoy your online matches as your favorite.
So, one other thing, because one of the things I really loved about the older Dragon Ball games, the Budokai series, was between the fights, it was not just all about these custom matches and story matches. It was also about the roaming around in the world, being able to immerse yourself in the Dragon Ball world, just flying around as Goku and looking for hidden capsules and just unlocking hidden content like that. Will there be anything like that, or are you moving towards this arcade style fighting game?
Actually, this time this game is not that including such like Budokai 3 type of the flying around the world trying to find missions. It's not that type.
So we have this full-on battle royale between all of our most loved Dragon Ball characters, I guess. So when it comes to this really dynamic and cinematic fighting, what new things can we expect? Because haven't we seen it all already? Haven't we seen all the biggest attacks or the most cinematic scale? What directions did the team go to actually give the best Dragon Ball fighting experience yet?
So mostly, our team, also the development team, has more concentrate on how we can express this game. DBZ Z Warrior itself is too strong, but now 8 of those are in one field as different character and fighting at melee. Think about that's how chaotic, but how it's dynamic and excitement. So we had have put our all efforts to how we visualize those battles, excitement, or DBZ fierce battles can be having them to integrate into the one field with merely 8 characters melee battles. Yeah. So I think, and that's also giving a more excitement and enjoyment for the players to play this game.
Yeah, and the previous games have had these huge character rosters, and the Z Warrior side, for us living here in the Western world, the video games of Dragon Ball have been a great way for us to be introduced to all of the other characters in the game, or in the series, I should say, and especially in Dragon Ball Budokai 3, where you included as a kind of a secret character where you could unlock Oob at the end, and just all of these kind of characters are not from the original manga. Is there any new of these characters that we will be introduced to in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z?
So it's already shown here, but it's not. So we can say it's a really surprise. But of course, this Battle of Z gonna be included characters from the latest DBZ game. I mean the DBZ movie. Yeah. Dragon Ball Z Battle of God. So Super Saiyan God Goku and God of Destruction Bills, and also his servant the Whis. So those 3 new characters, it's never seen before in the game. Now it's joining the GBZ battles.
Så där har ni det. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z lovar att bli den antagligen fetaste Dragon Ball TV-spelsupplevelsen som vi någonsin haft. And I would like to say thank you for sitting in on us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Arigato. Bye bye.